Good morning, everyone. Minister Nagavci, Minister Haidari, Ambassador Weidinger, Mr. Dragoudas from European Union office here in Pristina, Ms. Horina from ADA Coordination Office in Pristina, Ms. Bacigalupo, Joint Research Center, European Commission, dear representatives of European Union office here in Kosovo, representatives of governmental institutions of Kosovo, Chamber of Commerce, business sector, municipal education departments, schools, teachers, universities, and all international development partners. Ladies and gentlemen, Zonja Ezotri, Dame I Gospodo, following us in live stream session from Kosovo and all over the world. And with this, I would like to thank also the European partners, especially Vantania Education and Entercop EU, for sharing today's event all over the Europe and the world. I would like to warmly welcome to the presentation of the European Union Entercomp, Entrepreneurship Competence Framework, defined as EU key competence. My name is Evka Heder, and it's my great honor and pleasure to greet you all in the name of the project, Aligning Education and Training with Labor Market Needs, known as ALET2, project funded by the European Union, co-founded by Austrian Development Cooperation and implemented by Austrian Development Agency. Today's event is simultaneously translated in English, Albanian, and Serbian. Please choose your preferable option in the bottom of the screen. Light at the end of the tunnel called COVID is in front of us. What is confirmed through this heavy and uncertain time is that digital future is happening with acceleration of all processes. Turning challenges into opportunities, being able to see opportunities and support entrepreneurial culture, being able to think and act entrepreneurially are key elements in the COVID-19 recovery process. Entrepreneurship and SMEs are in the heart of EU policies and EU life, equally defined within the Small Business Act for Europe and EU education policies. SMEs represent between 98 and 99% of all enterprises in EU, but also all over the globe. The same situation is in Kosovo. What is specific for Kosovo is that more than 80% are micro and small businesses, mainly micro, up to 5 to 10 people employed. The main resource for every SME, in particular micro and small, are people. And for that reason, every citizen being able to think and act entrepreneurially is crucial. Every pre-accession country is assessed every 3 years how good country is in building entrepreneurial ecosystem. 2 out of 10 assessment dimensions are dedicated to the fact how good we are in direct support to system performing entrepreneurial competencies and skills. In particular, first out of 10 dimensions is dedicated to entrepreneurial learning. The last assessment for Kosovo was conducted in 2019, showing that there is a need for structured improvement and that there was no significant change in compared to 2016. New assessment is just to be conducted and results to be presented in the report for 2021. In the same time, EU Skills Agenda, Action Areas 7 and 8, published in July 2020, EU Council Recommendations for VET, July 2020, and EIT, European Innovation and Technology Center, their strategy, as well as Horizon Strategic Plan for period 21-27 in the action area number 2, strongly highlights need for systematic support to entrepreneurship as a key competence for every student and citizen. ALET2, as EU and ADA funded project, is strongly supporting developments in Kosovo harmonized with the latest EU policies. In the past months, through Kosovo Labor Market Barometer, Skills Barometer, VET Barometer, Quality Assurance in VET, as well as Financing VET in Kosovo proposal for improvement in consistent cooperation with all national stakeholders on daily basis, even in this heavy time. Together, we contributed to smart system building, in particular, EU Skills Agenda Priority Area 1 and Priority Area 2. Today, we are opening new area towards EU Skills Agenda Action Area 6, 7, and 8, starting with availability of EU Intercom, available and accessible to everyone in Kosovo, with translation of original document in official languages, and with unpacking the EU Intercom as a first step towards full-scale implementation. It is not an easy process, but it's doable. Every process starts with the first step. In addition, Intercom is strongly supporting system preparation for Think and Act Green concept, including environment competence, and as well with financial and economic literacy included, which is in line with the Greco recommendations related to the fight corruption through culture creation in mid and long run. Entrepreneurship and education going together is key for success, and allow me to thank in particular Minister Nagafci and Minister Haidari for this extraordinary step forward towards entrepreneurship ecosystem building through entrepreneurial student, entrepreneurial teacher, and entrepreneurial schools as nests of entrepreneurial mindset. With very simple fact that entrepreneurs of tomorrow are in our schools today, allow me to thank Faleminderit shumë, hvala, congratulations, urime, čestitam, to all institutions for their dedication and work done in these challenging times. In this respect, allow me just a small change within the agenda. Ms. Nagafci, if you agree, Ms. Haidari, due to other governmental duties, asked for the small change in the agenda.
Yes, it's okay.
Faleminderit shumë, Minister Nagafci. Minister Haidari, please address the floor.
Thank you very much, Evka. First and foremost, greetings to dear Ambassador Weidinger, to Mr. Tragados, Horina, Ms. Horina, and my professor Irai Hashi. Very pleased to see you here, and all the representatives from Chamber of Commerces, from government institutions, from private sector, municipal educations, university representatives, and more that I am not maybe able to address. Greetings to my ALED 2 colleagues. And sorry that I didn't come yet for a coffee, but I will find one day to come and have a coffee with you after 100 days results that we aim to reach. As Minister of, it is first and foremost my great pleasure to be in this very important event for EU Entrepreneurship Competence Framework, which is defined as key competence. And following our government priority or government agenda of jobs and justice, which is our promise to our citizens. And as based on this promise, we got votes and we came in government. Our Ministry of Industry, Entrepreneurship and Trade really plays a key role to boost economy and create jobs. In this purpose, innovation and entrepreneurship is of very high importance, regardless that we found very much fragile or rather not a system in place. We are missing our policy, sound policy for innovation and entrepreneurship, and therefore with GIZ support and welcoming also your support, we are going to initiate the policy making for entrepreneurship and innovation. This will bring the potential of Kosovo to be in use and boost economy, but first and foremost is also to ensure the strengthened cooperation or structured cooperation between private and public sector, all in purpose to accommodate needs of the private sector, as private sector is very much in need of qualified workers and more in terms of other needs of energy and more. It is worth to mention today that different studies from Vienna Institute and other studies are showing that Western Balkan 6 really has a potential to use nearshoring possibilities after post-COVID, and we have to be very well organized as countries of Western Balkan and bring our offer to European markets, and also to create links with European industries as much as we can. And these are opportunities of Kosovo, especially with very young population, with very much workaholic workforce that we have in the country, with EU currency, with geographic location, and the most resources, as always, EFKA says, are youth. We, as a government, aim to build technoparks to create more space for youth and for entrepreneurs, but first and foremost to restructure all the grant scheme that was given so far to entrepreneurship and innovation, and these grants will be guided by the sound policies in place. Therefore, I conclude that every initiative bringing together private and public sector and trying to contribute to building on ecosystem is very much welcome from Kosovo government. I would apologize that I need to leave for a meeting that our Prime Minister is calling me to join the Quint informal meeting with ambassadors of Quint states. Otherwise, I would love to stay with you. I hope to meet all of you in person as much as my schedule will allow. Thank you also, Minister Nadovci, for giving me this chance to leave earlier. Bye.
Minister Haidari, thank you very much for introducing and sharing with us these important policies related to economic and entrepreneurship development. Kosovo today is performing the highest level of policy maturity, economy, entrepreneurship, and education hand in hand. People are the most valuable resource, and who can tell us more about people and the structured approach to that than Minister Nagavci. Minister Nagavci, it's our great honor and pleasure. The floor is yours.
Thank you, EFKA. All the best. Greetings to all.
Dr. EFKA, faleminderit shumë. Të nderuar të pranishëm, i nderuar zoti Christopher Weidnik, ambasadori i Republikës së Austrisë në Kosovë, i nderuar zoti Streggjo, menaxheri i programit evropian, e nderuara zonja Baki Kurpo, Komisionit të Përbashkët Evropian, i nderuar përfaqësuesi Fondacionit Evropian të Trajnimit, zoti Ivan Den Jurad, i nderuar Anthony Griben nga Fondacioni Evropian i Trajnimit, të nderuar kolegë bashkëpunëtor të gjithë ju të pranishëm. Është kënaqësi e veçantë për mua që të jem sot bashkë me ju në këtë ngjarje dhe pa dashur të përsëris të gjitha ato që zonja Hajdari, ministri Hajdari sapo i përmendi në lidhje me prioritetet e qeverisë Kurti dhe angazhimin tonë në këtë fushë kaq të rëndësishme. Më lejoni që në fillim t'ju falenderoj të gjithë për bashkëpunimin, për angazhimin, për punën që e keni bërë dhe të shpreh gatishmërinë dhe mbështetjen time të plotë si ministra e arsimit që të çojmë përpara të procese kaq të rëndësishme edhe për qeverinë tonë, po sidomos për dhënien e mundësive të rinjve dhe për mbarvajtjen e procesit këtu në Republikën e Kosovës. Në vazhdim e aplikimit të kompetencave kryesore të BE-s, kompetenca e ndërmarrësisë konsiderohet si njëra ndër më të rëndësishmet për zhvillimin si profesional ashtu edhe personal të qytetarëve evropianë. Përkthimi dhe botimi në gjuhën shqipe dhe serbe i dokumentit origjinal Entrecom, korniza e kompetencës së ndërmarrësisë, mbështetet përmes projektit ALLE2, sikurse u përmend edhe këtu, harmonizimi i arsimit dhe aftësimit me nevojat e tregut të punës, ALLE2 gjithsesi faza e dytë e projektit. Andaj ky është një kontribut i vlefshëm në çështjen e qytetarëve të Kosovës në dokumentet dhe instrumentet evropiane për zhvillimin dhe përparimin e arsimit dhe të aftësimit, krahas kontributit që ALLE2 po e jep edhe në zhvillimin e arsimit dhe aftësimit profesional, kualifikimeve, sigurimit të cilësisë dhe reformimit të sistemit arsimor në Kosovë. Korniza Entrecom jep një përkufizim të përbashkët të asaj se çfarë është ndërmarrësia si kompetencë dhe synon që të vendos një urë midis arsimit dhe punës. Dhe nga viti 2016 merret si referencë nga çdo iniciativë që synon të nxjisë të mësuarit e ndërmarrësisë. Në këtë drejtim është jashtëzakonisht shumë e rëndësishme edhe për ne dhe për sistemin arsimor në Republikën e Kosovës. Korniza natyrisht mund të përdoret si bazë edhe për zhvillimin e kurrikulave të arsimit të përgjithshëm dhe të atij profesional, përmes aktiviteteve mësimore që nxisin ndërmarrësinë si një kompetencë kryesore. Gjithashtu, mund të përdoret për përcaktimin e parametrave për të promovuar dhe vlerësuar aftësitë ndërmarrëse të nxënësve dhe të qytetarëve në përgjithësi, e të cilat është e qartë se ekzistojnë te të rinjt tonë. Me që jetojmë në një shoqëri dinamike, që po ndryshon me shpejtësi, është thelbësore që të posedojmë aftësinë për të menaxhuar karrierën duke formsuar edhe të ardhmen, duke kontribuar për të mirën e përbashkët. Prandaj dhe ne kemi nevojë të mbështesim të rinjt tonë, kemi nevojë për njerëz, ekipe dhe organizata me shpirt ndërmarrës në të gjitha fushat e jetës. Entrecomp e ofron një përshkrim gjithëpërfshirës të njohurive, aftësive dhe qëndrimeve që njerëzit kanë nevojë për të qenë ndërmarrës dhe për të krijuar vlera financiare, kulturore ose shoqërore, si për veten e tyre, ashtu edhe për të tjerët dhe zhvillimin e shoqërisë në përgjithësi. Entrecomp është një kornizë referimi shumë fleksibël që mund të përshtatet për të mbështetur edhe zhvillimin dhe kuptimin e kompetencës ndërmarrëse në çdo mjedis, andaj si një dokument i tillë mjaft fleksibël mund të përdoret me lehtësi, besoj nga ana e jon po ashtu. Që nga fillimi në 2016, Entrecomp është përdorur si në politikë bërje, ashtu edhe në praktik, në sektor të shumë për të mbështetur si qytetarinë aktive, inovacionin, punësueshmërinë të mësuarit përmes të menduarit dhe veprimit ndërmarrës. Në këtë linjë, në sistemin tonë arsimor, ne duhet të përshtatemi më shumë me vlerat evropiane. Përkundër hapave dhe aktiviteteve veprimeve që janë bërë deri më tani, është shumë e rëndësishme për ne që të zhvillojmë dhe njohim kompetencën ndërmarrëse si një pjesë kryesore të mësuarit tonë gjatë gjithë jetës, që mbetet edhe një qëllim i vazhdueshëm i politikave tona arsimore dhe synimeve tona për mandatin tonë qeverisës. Duke mbështetur zhvillimin e kompetencës ndërmarrëse për të gjithë, ne nxisim edhe zhvillimin e potencialeve të aftësive konkurruese të shoqërisë tonë në tregun e dijes, në tregun e punës dhe në tregun e ideve. Prandaj me lejoni që në fund të falenderoj edhe një herë projektin ALLE2, në krye me udhëhecën e ekipit, zonjen Efka Heder dhe zonjen Margherita Baki Gualupo, nga Qendra e Përbashkët e Kërkimit e Komisionit Evropian, që bën të mundur që edhe nxënësit e Kosovës të përfitojnë nga kjo kornizë evropiane. Falenderoj të gjithë bashkëpunëtorët dhe ata që kanë kontribuar dhe uroj që të kemi një implementim të suksesshëm dhe me lehtësi edhe nga shkollat edhe ofrimin e kësaj mundësie për të gjithë të rinjt tonë. Faleminderit shumë edhe sukses në këtë aktivitet sot.
Minister Nagafci, thank you very much here for the support of the good developments of Kosovo policies in VET and education. It is my great pleasure and honor to invite His Excellency Ambassador Weidinger to address the floor. Your Excellency, the floor is yours. Ambassador Weidinger? Okay, it looks like Ambassador will join us in the few minutes. If you allow me to continue with the agenda, I would like to invite the representative of EU office here in Kosovo, who knows more about EU policies in education than our dear colleague, Mr. Dragoudas. Dear Stergios, the floor is yours.
Dear Efka, thank you very much for the invitation. Allow me to address special thanks to the two ministers that were present today, Ms. Haidari and Ms. Nagafci, who is still present. And I would like to start by thanking Ms. Nagafci, because we have started a fully fledged cooperation that starts from the very early stages of education and goes up to what we are gathered here to talk about today. So special thanks to Ms. Nagafci. Allow me to also welcome Mr. Weidinger, your ambassador. I hope he is going to be present in a few minutes. for us, it's an extremely important initiative. What ALE2 has the initiative that ALE2 has taken today. Since ALE2 already is contributing to what Ms. Heder, you mentioned earlier, the entrepreneurship ecosystem, and I think we have already initiatives that are very innovative for Kosovo. Of course, I'm referring to Kosovo Skills Barometer and the Labor Market Barometer that we launched very few weeks back. I think that Kosovo has in place important projects, not because the EU is funding those projects, but because the competence, the competencies that those teams bring in Kosovo are very crucial for us, and we are extremely happy, as I said, to support those initiatives. So a special thanks to you, EFKA, for all those efforts. And I would like, after just very quickly, explicitly mentioning how ALE2 is contributing to Entrecomp. So I think it was mentioned earlier that, first of all, it's the first time that it's translated in the 2 official languages of Kosovo, Albanian and Serbian. It's going to be presented for the first time in Kosovo by Ms. Baki Galupo. I think it clearly supports what we call the strategic cooperation through the Cluster Hub in building entrepreneurial university, as per the principles of triple helix concept. And I'm very happy to see that thanks to this intervention, the VET curriculum development will include Entrecomp. Also, career guidance will focus as well on youth entrepreneurship capacities. And of course, the most important thing in this view is that teachers will become aware of the principles of Entrecomp and will be more capable in applying it at school level. The need for entrepreneurial culture in Kosovo is something that goes beyond any doubt that needs to be introduced as soon as possible. We are faced with still in Kosovo with a high rate of unemployment, unfortunately, and high rates of we call them the net, not in education, employment or training people in Kosovo. And this has a huge gender perspective as well, with women being less involved in employment and training. So once more, I would like to say that it's an extremely happy moment for us that ALE2 is initiating this move. And you know, the EU is funding the VET sector heavily. And this is not the only initiative. We have other initiatives in place, other projects in place. And I think we are step by step creating, together with the institutions, a very contributive an environment which will be contributing to major changes in the months and years to come. Of course, those changes, we are aware they are taking a long time. We know that education is a matter not of years in terms of changes, but a matter of generations. But I think we are setting a very good base here. And for this reason, allow me to once more thank this project for the huge efforts and for the fact that despite all the challenges, we have had, all of us, a very tough 1.5 years. And I hope this is behind us already. The project already managed to achieve considerable results. And I am very happy to see that it's very well on track and it's going to achieve more and even further in the months to come. I look forward to the next meetings. I thank you for inviting me here today. And a last remark, we apologize for for our ambassador or someone else from cooperation section not being present here today with us. This is due to a last minute change. And as you know, it's a holiday period. A lot of colleagues are out of Pristina and of Kosovo. Thank you very much again. I wish you all the best of success. And of course, the EU office stands ready and by the institutions to take things step by step together and work in the future to achieving major targets. Thank you.
Mr. Tragoudas, dear Stergios, thank you very much for your address and highlighting the importance of key competence framework for the new perspective 21-27. I would kindly ask now that Ms. Horina is addressed the floor in the name of Austrian Development Agency. Ms. Horina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Evka. I would like to address now on behalf of Ambassador, because he unfortunately apologizes. He says that internet connection is bad. It is throwing him out all the time. So I'm speaking here on his behalf. So thank you very much. First of all, I'm sorry for the inconveniences. I would like to say thank you, and we are very honored that two ministers found time and interest to take part in this event. And this was also the reason why primarily Ambassador decided to take part in a rather technical event. But he just wanted to honor the gesture. The two ministers found interesting and needed and important to take part. So he also wanted to honor this fact with his participation. So, we are gathered here today to speak and to launch to discuss more about the European Entrepreneurship Competence Framework. This sounds, at least to me and to us, quite technical. But in the essence, this is a response to our very dynamic and very changing world. We live in a very complex global world on one side, on the other side, quite small world. So, in order to respond to these challenges and to changes, the European Union created this European Entrepreneurship Competence Framework. And in the essence or in the core, it should help people and enterprises to create the mindset that is needed to develop and to boost entrepreneurship. I didn't know personally that this exists, but I was very thrilled to, when I was researching for it, to understand the topic more, when I was discussing with other colleagues, and when I was speaking with Ambassador, to discuss this more. And why is entrepreneurship spirit and mindset needed? Because, for instance, the major carrier of the Austrian economy are the small and medium enterprises. They are those that are creating added value. They are those that are putting money into the taxes. So without entrepreneurship spirit and the mindset, there is no economic development. So this is instrumental for the economy development, for growth, and for stable and happy societies. So we are very happy that this European Entrepreneurship Framework will be launched or will be discussed and presented in Kosovo in a way that it should help people, but also companies, to enhance their knowledge and skills and attitude that are needed for entrepreneurship, or skills like culture of doing business, of doing finances, social values, and so on. So in this context, we would like to say that the entrepreneurship framework should not only improve capacities and knowledge of youth of Kosovo, but also education providers. These are the two side added values and impact this activity should have. We are very happy and honored that we are contributing in this context. And why is it so? Because I have been repeating this, and Ambassador is repeating this. The biggest challenge for the small country is the high unemployment rate of youth. This is devastating, in fact. Such a high youth unemployment in the crucial age what we talk about here. And the brain drain is the major challenge for the small country. So with this, we want to empower youth to build up their entrepreneurship skills in order to start and engage in the small and medium enterprises. to build or improve their small and medium enterprises. So let's say at the end of the road, this is why I've been here for the people and the people only. So, so our project, I'm very happy also to say that with this activity, with the European Entrepreneurship Competence Framework, our project will be targeting and will try to integrate this in the 4 targeted sectors of the project, namely food processing, agriculture, mechatronics, and energy, and will promote this curricula in the 20 targeted vocational education training schools in Kosovo. I'm very happy and very honored that we are doing this very important activities in synergy with the European Union. So thank you for that. And thank you all for being here today for this event. I thank again to ministers for their participation and their honoring of both our project, our activities, but also this important topic. I wish you very successful discussion today, and thank you very much for your attention. And again, sorry for the inconveniences. I'm not as good as ambassador this, but I was flexible and honored to speak on his behalf. Thank you.
Ms. Horina, thank you very much for sharing with us the full dedication of Austrian Development Agency to support all the processes in education and development of Kosovo currently, but also in the future. And thank you for inspirative words. Allow me now to especially greet the guru of European Union, of European Commission, from the Joint Research Center, which is the institution of European Commission, the leading institution in developing innovative solutions and tools. The author, the leading lady in European Union and the whole world of Entercomp, Ms. Margareta Bacigalupo. Dear Margareta, thank you very much that you find time to join us here and address specially and unpack especially Entercomp for all of us in Kosovo. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Efka. It's always very nice to work with you, and it's a real pleasure and honor to be here with you to celebrate, because today you have basically introduced the framework between you, the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Employment. Everyone who has spoken so far has given all the information that people need to know to approach the framework. But for me, it's very important to reconduct this moment into a celebration. It's a launch, but it's a celebration to commitment towards empowering Kosovo students and lifelong learners to become more entrepreneurial. And I think this is the best that a country can do, is giving people the capacity to spot opportunities, to develop ideas, and to turn them into action for their own good and for the good of the country and the society and the labor market. What I think is, I would like to show you one slide, simply to show you the framework. We have been speaking about it, and I would like to share its image. Let me, made a mistake. Share. So this is the way the Entercomp looks like. It's very visual and is a simple definition of what entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is when you act upon ideas and opportunities to transform them into value for others. And this value, as the Ministry of Education said, can be of any type: commercial, but also social, cultural, environmental, emotional. Think of any kind of shared value, and Entercomp is useful for that. The framework is divided in 3 areas: ideas and opportunities, resources, and into action. And the resources are the personal and the external resources people need to transform these opportunities and ideas into action. And then the framework unfolds into 15 competencies. So it opens, the wheel opens into a flower, and we see competencies like the capacity to spot opportunities, the capacity to develop a vision, ethical and sustainable thinking. So the importance of reflecting and anticipating the impact that ideas will have in society, in the environment, in the labor market, in the future of the upcoming generation. So it embeds a very big dimension of thinking about the consequences of any action we take. And then in resources, you see competencies like self-awareness, self-efficacy, so the capacity to believe in yourself and to know what your strengths are so that you can leverage those to achieve greater impact. The motivation and perseverance, because it's difficult to be entrepreneurial. There are setbacks. It's not a downhill road, but it's a road that we can learn to master. So there is in the into action part, a very important competence is learning through experience. And so understanding entrepreneurship as a lifelong learning process in which by creating value, we learn to create greater value. So it's a feedback loop. And I think this is important. And then the framework goes into very much details. And since you have the translation available in Serbian and Albanian, I don't really need to go into the detail of all the elements, but is an instrument that is there and provides you with a grid of 442 learning outcomes. Now I stop sharing to put the emphasis on how this framework should be used. So don't take it as a prescriptive document. Entrecomp is not the way you have to. There is a lot of noise. So the framework, you have to think lifelong learning and entrepreneurial lifelong learning as a journey into the sea. Imagine that you are sailormen and sailorwomen navigating the sea in the darkness. Entrecomp is like a constellation. There are plenty of competencies that people need to develop, technical ones. So in vocational education system, the technical competencies are important. And you can imagine the competencies as stars that shine in the sky. But if you look at the sky without orientation point, you get lost. So a competence framework like Entrecomp is like a constellation, the Ursa Major. You look at it and you know where you are. You know how to move. You know where to orient yourself towards your own journey. And I would like to pick one of the points that the Ministry of Entrepreneurship made, which was relating to the reality of Kosovo of micro enterprises made by very few people. And the aspect of unemployment, try and avoid to think that making people entrepreneurial will generate employment as self-employee for each and every one of them. Think rather that any employee in any organization, a small, a micro, even a governmental organization can be entrepreneurial. Each of us can be entrepreneurial. Being entrepreneurial is about creating value for others, and you don't need to own a company to create value for others. You can be an entrepreneur, an employee, even a stagiaire. So you may come in and see an opportunity and be entrepreneurial, take the initiative to show that opportunity and to mobilize the resources, to convince people that this is the way forward. And maybe you are the one that transform wine distillery into a factory that produces hydroalcoholic gel when there is need. I'm sure, I would bet that this kind of innovation come from the bottom up. So anyone can be entrepreneurial, even us in the civil service have a lot of room for entrepreneurship. And one point that I would like to make is also that being entrepreneurial may make us happier at work because it gives us purpose. When we lose the sense of our work and we start getting frustrated and we don't see the impact of our work, if we change perspective and we focus on value creation, then we see what is the value that we are going to create. It becomes our job becomes much more engaging. It gives us much more autonomy because it fosters our capacity to take the initiative to transform these ideas into action, to mobilize the people that will empower us to go forward, and especially the aspect of learning from experience and coping with uncertainty, ambiguity, and risk, not expecting that the solution is ready there and easy to pick. There are plenty of challenges. It was mentioned, volatile, complexity, ambiguity, uncertainty are shaping the world. And the way to approach these in a constructive and challenging, but positive challenging way is by approaching with an entrepreneurial mindset. And I think I can stop here. I want this message to be very positive and encourage you to think about entrepreneurship as a competence for all, not just for the people that are desperate for a job, but for anyone. Each and every of us can do our job by creating greater value. And these competencies help us in doing so. Thank you so much.
Ms. Bacigalupo, dear Margareta, thank you very much for addressing us from Sevilla, from Joint Research Center, the institution of European Commission in developing innovative solutions. Allow me just to reflect that being entrepreneurial is what is also recommended to be desirable behavior within the public administration reform and cutting the red tape, because the surveys are showing that the red tape caused by the public administration servants not being able to perform entrepreneurial way of thinking is actually the obstruction factors for SMEs. In addition, the countries who are assessed in the world as the most competitive one, when you look deeper, what is the ratio between their opportunity-driven startups and necessity-driven startups, you will see that the contribution to their competitiveness is also the significant number of opportunity-driven startups. When you go deeper in the analysis of their curriculum, you will find that from the day one, the entrepreneurial content as a key competence is embedded in their curricula. And this is where the whole cycle is closed. And this is how we can proceed further on. Margareta, once more, thank you very much for this wonderful address. Now we have two colleagues from European Training Foundation, Agency of European Commission, in charge to follow up the developments together with European Union office here in Kosovo related to developments of Kosovo in the education policies. But as we already said, we are living in the world of uncertainty, and uncertainty hit our two colleagues. One colleague, Christine van den Eyden, and the other colleague, Anthony Griban, they were hit by uncertainty of flights caused by COVID, and they are not able, because they are in the plane now, to join us live. But they were so nice and supportive, understanding how important is the launch of entrepreneurship competence framework. They prepared over the night their addresses. The first one is video address prepared just this night from our dear colleague Christine van der Eyden. I'm kindly asking the technicians to share with us the video.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Christine van den Eyden, and I'm working for the European Training Foundation in Turin, in Italy. I am very pleased to speak here for you in this very important conference, although it would have been much nicer to be with you in real life. As we all know, all the rapid changes in the society with regard to greening and digital transformation is changing the way we work, the way we learn, and the way we live our daily lives. And also the pandemic has shown the importance of continuous learning and really updating and reskilling, upskilling. Unfortunately, many people have lost their jobs and need to reinvent themselves. And also the young people that are now entering the labor market are facing a lot of challenges. And therefore, Europe has updated the skills agenda of 2016 in a new skills agenda for sustainable competitiveness, social fairness, and resilience. And this new skills agenda is really calling for investing in training people. And this is really very important for VET students and VET graduates. They really need to have the necessary skills to work in this green and digital society. I'm thinking, for example, in training them how to maintain solar panels or the maintenance of hybrid cars, for example. But there is much more in this digital and green society to be done. The new skills agenda also calls on putting more focus on entrepreneurship and the development of entrepreneurial skills. In this respect, it is very important that there is a solid career guidance system in place that also is promoting self-employment and entrepreneurship as a valid career path for VET graduates. But of course, these VET graduates need to be well prepared to become an entrepreneur or even an entrepreneur, to be an employee that is also planning well the work, solving problems, thinking critically, and so on. And VET institutions can do different things to develop the entrepreneurial mindset of their graduates. And I have chosen 3 things that I would like to tell you and to explain a little bit further. And the first thing is really to include entrepreneurship as a key competence in the curricula. And this can be done in different ways. For example, you can decide to include a new course on entrepreneurship to train students to develop business plans or different type of projects, such as mini companies. But most let's say, efficient or sustainable is really to include it in different subjects of the curricula. So really as a multidisciplinary approach. But this, of course, really asks a lot from the teachers. They have to work well together and cooperate together. For example, the technical teacher can design and develop wooden furniture together with the students. The teacher of mathematics can help to calculate the costs of the finished product, and the teacher in languages can really help with the communication and to sell the product on the international market, for example. So there are different ways to do so, and I would like to really stress that the EntreComp, or the entrepreneurship competence framework, is really a very useful tool to develop this more innovative curricula. We have used it already in different countries, for example in Montenegro, in Georgia, in Ukraine, in Tunisia. So there are already good examples that you can build on. Secondly, what's also very important is really to become entrepreneurial as a VET institution. So really to have more entrepreneurial teachers and school managers, that they are able to take risks themselves, and they allow for making mistakes and to learn from those mistakes. So the continuous professional development for teachers and school managers should be really a priority. And thirdly, what is also very important is to cooperate more closely with local businesses and local community. We know that students or learners learn much more in authentic situations. Especially VET students should should use as much as possible real-life solutions. And for this, of course, the connection with the world of work is very important. I would like also to stress for the VET system to promote as much as possible work-based learning and apprenticeships as well. So to conclude, I know that there are many good examples of entrepreneurial learning in Kosovo, and I think it's very important to share those examples so that you can learn from them and even become better. And in this respect, I would like to invite all the VET institutions that are entrepreneurial to become part of an ETF new network that is a network on vocational excellence. It's a network that is called ENE. And this network puts together vet colleges that are entrepreneurial. So I would like to invite you to have a look on our website. I'm sure the organizers of this event will give the necessary information on that, and I would be happy to help you if you are interested. So thank you very much, and I wish you a good continuation of the conference. Bye.
Wherever you are, please don't forget, let's just remind ourselves, we're very keen to compare ourselves with EU member states. The best performing country in the world, according to PISA, and happiness index is Finland. Please be aware that from the day one, entering the schooling system, entrepreneurship competence framework is there, even not called entrepreneurship competence framework. But the way how it's taught in the school, the way how it is performed, it's from the day one, starting from the first day, actually going through the lifelong learning system as shared by Margareta with us. Denmark, they have Institute for Entrepreneurship Education, supporting schools, institutions, how they can contribute to the entrepreneurial society. We also need to be aware that entrepreneurship competence framework is not just valid for EU member states. The month ago, I was addressing the Latin America Policy Forum for all Latin America countries. It is priority there. It is translated also in Russian. It is translated in Chinese. I think, Margareta, yes, I'm not mistaken, in Arabic. It's addressed in a lot of development strategies of the countries all over the world. So with this step, Kosovo is putting himself on the map of strategic thinkers and strategic development countries, and we're happy for that. Anthony Griban, the person working from European Training Foundation, actually the person who was working on the establishment of the first seed of education system in Kosovo, sent us a written address, and it will be shared with you by Dr. Anton Gojani, with whom he cooperated for his 3 years mandate here in Kosovo. Anton, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Evka. Greetings to all participants here. To be very frank with you, I really feel quite responsible reading the statement of Anthony Griban, knowing him for more than 22 years, and the way how he is able to really convey any messages and how to deliver the speeches, and this makes me really a bit, stressful. But I'll be reading his statement dedicating to this event. And as you already mentioned, he spent 3 years in Kosovo, and we have been sharing also the office, and he was advisor to the government of Kosovo and to then EAR, European Agency for Reconstruction at the time, after the war in Kosovo. And I really can say among the first international experts who really started the very basic step toward a structured way of thinking and planning on that in Kosovo, but also the first initiatives we took with him in planning a long-term and building a long-term vision for Kosovo, always with Kosovars and for Kosovars. And he was really dedicated to that, and always he helped us to get prepared for that, especially in terms of planning for qualification, certification of skills, then his continuous support in promotion of Kosovo and on rebuilding the Kosovo education system. Okay, let's come back to his statement. Dear Minister Nagaci, dear Minister Haidari, dear friends from Kosovo, and dear colleagues from EU and from the international institutions present here. Some of you may remember me from earlier times in Kosovo when I worked in Pristina after the war. It was a difficult period then, but I remember wondering how would the economy, education, and wider developments in country evolve. There were many factors working against you. A new state, and the need for internationalization. An education system which had been almost decimated by years of non-investment and the impact of a dreadful war on children, families, and communities across Kosovo. One thing that stood out, however, for me was the spirit to determination to turn a corner, to succeed. And leadership from the business world and from government was a critical factor in this ambition to build a new economy within a wider Europe. Over the last 10 years, I have seen this spirit no better manifested than in the education system, where a new state embarked on developing more innovation and ambition through its schools. How you have embraced entrepreneurship and digital developments is an example for others. And I know that this has been risky without solid references as to how this can be done across the learning system. Inside the EU, developed market economies still road testing system development of entrepreneurship promotion and your pioneering efforts must be included within this wider drive to allow for a fuller assessment of what works well and what doesn't. Moving forward, I understand that consideration is being given to more developed promotion of the EU's entrepreneurship and digital competence frameworks. Co-working the two competencies will have significant spin-off for the upcoming generations, and I wish you every success with this. It will require support for teachers, engagement with the business community, and bold leadership from political and civic leaders. Expect more developed monitoring and reporting exercises around the two competencies from Pristina to Brussels, and where I hope to read of your good work as references for other countries in the region and beyond. I wish the meeting today much success, and I look forward to seeing you all soon in Kosovo. Tony Griben.
Anton, thank you very much for the address from our fellow colleague, Anthony Griben. I'm kindly asking the technicians to publish on the screen the slide with competence translated into Albanian and into English, which will be tomorrow. The hard copies will be shared with you tomorrow within the VET Summit, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, as well as on the event related to the quality assurance, which is planned for the 1st of July, and as well for the quality assurance coordinators and school directors, as well as VTCs, planned for the 1st week of July and the 2nd week of July. With this, it's a first step just towards the sharing and making the tool accessible. But from the ALE2 position, what is in front of us? How new curriculum should be developed for specific sectors, as addressed from Ms. Horina, and entrepreneurship to be integrated cross-curricularly, not as a separate subject, but cross-curricularly in the different subjects and complementary in line to achieve the desirable behavior, but also values, as well as performance at the system level. Also, these to be included this must be strongly supported. As the mission or the vision and dedication was shared by the two ministers, Minister Nagavci and Minister Haidari, and allow me once more to take two ministers of the government of Kosovo performing strategic cooperation in this respect. I would like to share with you that this is also presenting the contribution to the next assessment period of the SME Policy Index run by OECD and European Commission, as well as competitiveness outlook. But also, it's a step towards the good performance related to the EU country report. With this, allow me to thank all of our speakers. And as Margareta rightly said, let's celebrate, because it's a time for celebration. It's a time to be active in the step towards the creation of entrepreneurial society, no matter are you entrepreneur or are you public servant, because our societies must flourish after the COVID. Thank you very much once more, Margareta. Thank you very much, and big regards to all colleagues in Sevilla. We are here for good developments, and we will send to you the translated version for the compendium of European Commission literature. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Faleminderit shumë. Faleminderit juve. All the best. Thank you. Thank
Goodbye,
you.
Efka. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward for the cooperation in next days.